We don't have any cold air in place, and any morning we get by, starting this time of year all the way through March, that we don't have a snowstorm for that morning commute, we are doing A-OK. Here's your visibility. It's down, typically 10 miles on a clear, crystal clear morning. We don't have that this morning, and even some dense fog down towards the Mansfield area this morning. May slow you down there. We do have drizzle, as I mentioned, a little bit of a light breeze, and temps that aren't bad. We're sitting in the low to mid 40s right now. We've stayed kind of steady overnight. Temperatures will slowly rise just a couple degrees today. These clouds really lock in our temps where they are. You see the clouds around. You don't see any drizzle on radar. It doesn't show up very well because radar beam goes up above it. It's low level, that drizzle is, and so we do have quite a bit of patchy drizzle around the area. And then we have this area of rain that we've been tracking all week. How far north does it make it? Well, it looks like most of us are going to get rain, but not until late this evening. Most of the day we're going to be stuck with the clouds, some drizzle, but the more steady rain will move in again later on. So here's kind of a look at the evolution of it. The whole system kind of falling apart as it moves through, but still we should get a pretty good shot at some rain in here again later on this evening into tonight. Good news is it's out of here tomorrow, and so most of the day cloudy with patchy drizzle and temperatures up near 50, so it'll feel kind of like an early spring day, I guess is the way to describe it. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast as we go through time. Watch the rain move in from the west. 5 o'clock, still dry outside of drizzle. And then notice the rain moves in here 9, 10, 11 o'clock. Our model still bringing it all the way up towards the lakeshore, so we'll take it at this point. That rain continues overnight. Tomorrow morning, waking up, likely some low clouds still around, temperatures near 40. But look at the sunshine mixed with some leftover clouds tomorrow. Should be really, really nice to see. So how about that weekend? Again, clouds to sunshine on Saturday. Oh, it'll be great to have the sun on Sunday as well. Temperatures a little bit warmer on Sunday. If you have a pick of outdoor plans for both days, Saturday is cooler. Sunday a little bit milder. That 50 is going to feel really nice. If you're getting the yard work done today, not the best of days with the drizzle and the late day rain. Tomorrow not great either because we'll have leftover wet leaves, and then Sunday probably your day to do it as we'll start drying out even those leaves underneath. Long range of forecasts. Let's get you the latest on next week. Not much has changed in terms of the evolution of the system Tuesday, Wednesday. We're expecting a dry travel day Monday. We'll have rain that moves through here on Tuesday. Could be steady at times, so it'll make it kind of messy on area roadways. And then Wednesday, we'll have some lingering showers around. That's kind of what's changed. The showers are going to linger a little longer on Wednesday, but cold air is going to be moving in at the same time. So if you're traveling Wednesday, leftover wet roads and then cold air and some gusty winds around here shouldn't be too problematic for any travel that you have, but overall, it's not going to be the perfect day. And then Thursday, Thanksgiving, we dry out, but we've got cold air moving in. We'll be in the 30s, so we're going to be on the colder side. Lake effect snow will be going at some point Thursday into Friday, and then models split on what happens. The Euro brings a couple systems through. Other models keep the snow in here, so we're going to kind of forget about that until they decide. Union Home Mortgage 10-day forecast. A lot of 50s, though, out ahead of that system. And you can see how we cool down for Turkey Day itself. And then next week, a lot of 30s in there. I've got a few snowflakes later next week.
Now, we've got a lot to talk about as we head into the weekend before Thanksgiving, and also a very busy weekend for football. First and 10, we still have those playoff games happening, and unfortunately, it looks like you might get soggy as you're sitting in the stands. Definitely want to give you a heads up to plan ahead, as we're going to see temperatures on the cooler side in the 40s and 50s. With that rain, it just might be a little bit kind of miserable sitting in there, but you know what? It's what you make of it, right? And if you're prepared for the rain, you should be in really good shape. So let me time this out for you. I'm not worried about the rain for the commute this morning, just the fog. But as we go into the afternoon, you can start to see the rain pushing into the south first. Athens, MacArthur, Chillicothe, Washington Courthouse by the time the kids are getting out of school. And then as we go into the evening commute, unlike yesterday morning, this doesn't look like it'll be as bad with the rain. So there's some good news for us. It does look like rain will start to fill in, as I mentioned, as we go into our Friday night football games. And then the most intense of the rain looks to come through overnight. Again, a lot less rain than we were originally anticipating, which I do like to see. And for Saturday morning, though, a big game on Saturday in Columbus. Buckeyes football, last home game of the season. It is looking like we will see that sky clear up just in time for kickoff at noon with some sunshine. And that's also going to be a day where we have temperatures that'll get up into the low 50s. So what a great day for football. And the rest of the weekend's looking just as nice as we go into Saturday afternoon and evening and then into your Sunday. Now, as we go into the week of Thanksgiving, it does look like we'll have a rainy day on Tuesday. This isn't looking like a big storm system just yet, but some of that rain could also linger into Wednesday. So if you are traveling those 2 days, just know that could be a minor impact for you. I would try to travel Sunday and Monday if you can, as far as it goes with the weather forecast. But for Thanksgiving Thursday, yikes, that's a cold turkey there. Look at that, 37 degrees for the high. So that front that comes through on Wednesday really going to bring some colder air. Right now it looks dry. I hope it stays that way, but just want to give you a heads up if you have family or friends coming to town. It's going to be pretty cold here for the holiday.
So this is where we left off with a chance for some scattered showers right around the evening commute. So I know we had the lights before Christmas tonight. We still have some high school football playoffs going on. So this is what to expect. Depending on where you are, seeing cloudy skies, a few isolated showers. Eventually the rain chances pick up overnight, but then by sunrise tomorrow morning, we're done with the rain, done with the clouds, but it's going to be a cold one for tomorrow morning. So what plans you have for tonight and tomorrow, it's going to vary as far as temperature and sky cover goes. And tomorrow is the BG Holiday Parade, so come say hi to myself, Kaylee Kirby, Ryan Weekman, Jerry Anderson. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a little more on the cooler side. Highs will be in the mid-40s, mid-50s return by Sunday. Check out your extended forecast for next week. Mid-50s return both Monday and Tuesday, so fairly mild for the start of Thanksgiving week. We're dry on Monday, but then here come those rain chances Tuesday, Wednesday, Thanksgiving. There's that chance for some scattered showers, rain and snow, and those temperatures are cooling down. Highs Thanksgiving afternoon in the upper 30s. Black Friday will be a cold one in the mid-30s. Now Saturday, Small Business Saturday, the LSU Michigan game. Hopefully you're watching inside because we'll see highs in the mid-30s. That's look at your extended forecast.
And what the anticipation is as we head into next week.
Yeah, so we're projecting a record Thanksgiving, nearly 82 million Americans traveling, and we just look at domestic travel. So we don't include anybody traveling internationally or anybody traveling for business. It's just leisure domestic travel. So nearly 82 million is a record, would be a record for Thanksgiving. And we've been seeing these records post-pandemic. So ever since 2023, we've been setting new records that have surpassed pre-pandemic numbers. Thanksgiving is the busiest holiday of them all. So when it comes to travel, this is the holiday that most people travel for. Why? Because it's not affiliated with any gift giving or fireworks show. It's really just about spending time with people you love and family, friends, gathering around, not doing a whole lot, just sort of hanging out. And so we see that people really find a lot of meaning in this holiday and will do what they can to go out of town. And we consider travel 50 miles or more from home. So it doesn't have to be far. You can just hop in the car and do an hour road trip and you're part of the travel world.
Speaking of the roads, is that more common? Is driving more common this time of year or flying?
Driving is always, no matter what holiday, no matter what time of year, more people drive than fly. That's just numbers, right? Everybody has a car for the most part. So when it comes to holiday travel, between 85% and 90% of people who travel drive. So that makes up the most, the biggest slice of the pie. Now, when it comes to flying, it's usually about 7%. So we're projecting 6 million travelers going by air, and that's still quite a lot. I mean, that would also set a new record in the air travel category. We typically see between 5 and 6 million people traveling by air over Thanksgiving, but this is on the high end of that. So that would be another record. But the roads, yeah, most people drive. At least 73 million will be on the roads this Thanksgiving. And that number could end up being higher if there are people who last minute decided, I don't want to fly, I want to avoid airports, and I'm going to switch to a road trip.
Is there a trend when most people leave for these trips and return?
Yeah, most people will leave for Thanksgiving. It's Tuesday, Wednesday. Those are the most popular days. And then coming back Sunday and Monday. Over time, it became that, initially it was like Wednesday and Sunday were the most popular. And then we would warn everybody those are terrible days. So then people switched them and now it's Tuesday and Monday, but now those days have become really popular. Also, it depends if families have kids. If you have kids who are in school, you're kind of then bound by the school calendar. And depending on the school system, some kids are off on Wednesday, some have a half a day on Tuesday. So that also plays a role in what families do. Some parents don't mind pulling the kids from school a day early and hitting the road and flying. But for the most part, that Tuesday, Wednesday are always the busiest leading into the holiday.
Well, unfortunately, I was checking the weather and it does look like we are about to be in for possibly 2 systems during Thanksgiving week that could bring some really, not good weather to the eastern half of the U.S. What do you recommend as far as people navigating that?
The most important thing is to be aware of it. I think people get caught off guard sometimes when it comes to the weather because they're busy paying attention to whatever's going to be happening in their hometown, right? So like, let's say you live in Raleigh, North Carolina, you're going to pay attention to the Raleigh weather. Maybe you're not paying attention to what the weather is at your destination. Or if you're driving, let's say you're going from Raleigh to Boston or Raleigh to DC, New York. are you paying attention to the weather as you head north, what the weather is going to be in those other states? So I think it's being mindful of what the forecast is, not just where you're originating, but also where you're heading. And then thinking about, especially if you're driving, you have the flexibility and the power to leave whenever you want. So can you switch the times? Don't be so stuck in your original plan A that you are like, I'm leaving Wednesday no matter what. But if it's going to be storming, or if it's going to be snowing, and it's going to be, not just like a little flurries, let's say there's an ice storm or there's a rainstorm wherever you are, you can adjust the time then. Maybe leave a day early. Maybe leave on Thanksgiving morning itself. And if you can be there, let's say you have a 4-hour, 5-hour road trip, maybe you can still make it on time for Thanksgiving dinner. But I think it's keeping safety in mind. Don't just think of your trip as the most important thing and overlook the fact that if you don't get there safely, none of this matters anyway. So with so many people projected on the roads too, we anticipate more crashes, people driving impaired, people driving distracted, not slowing down and moving over when they have people on the side of the road, whether it's a tow truck provider or law enforcement. That's the law. You have to reduce your speed or change lanes. All of those safety tips and reminders, and it's the law, people sometimes overlook because they're so busy wanting to just get to where they're going. But again, if we don't get there safely, none of this matters. And I think too, it only takes one crash to close down an interstate for hours. So I think if you, especially if there's bad weather along the route that you're taking, be mindful of it, reduce your speed significantly, and just go get off the interstate, go pull into a gas station or a rest area or a restaurant and just wait it out a little bit. It's just not worth it. You might get there a little bit later, but you'll get there safely.
And last question, just when it comes to air travel and those considerations, I mean, we all know what a nightmare it can be to be stuck in an airport with children for 10 hours. What's your advice there? When do you just call it quits and decide not to go?
Yeah, I mean, that really depends on the magnitude of your trip, on how important it is. I think if you are seeing significant delays at the airport, first of all, plan ahead in terms of bringing snacks with you, bringing entertainment, especially if you have young children with you, bring entertainment, bring chargers. Also avoid checking a bag, because when you pack light, the fewer bags you have with you, and especially if you only have carry-on, that helps you then make decisions more quickly. You don't have to worry about going to get your suitcase. Once you check that, now that's one thing that you've got to worry about. Also, just consider how you're getting to the airport, if you're leaving your car there, if you're not, because if you get dropped off, then the nice thing about that is you don't have to worry about your car. Let's say you fly somewhere and then you have issues coming back, returning, then you don't have to worry that that you're still paying the daily rate for a garage. Thinking of those little things, ultimately you cannot control a delay or a cancellation at the airport. So I think you just have to go into it understanding that things can happen, but have a plan B. Understand that, okay, am I going to rent a car? Would I call it off and just stay home? Would I then just switch plans and go visit somebody else who's closer and I don't have to fly to? But, ultimately the airports can be frustrating because there are so many of us traveling, and weather then just throws this wrench into everything because you can't control it. Typically we advise take that first morning flight. Those morning flights tend to be delayed the least, but with weather, right? Weather can happen at any time of the day. So that's just the only one that can be frustrating. And unfortunately, Thanksgiving and then the year-end holidays fall during a time when winter weather is a problem, although during the summer we have thunderstorms and all that too to worry about, and tropical storms. But I think for air travel especially, it's just keeping in mind that anything can happen. What would you do in the event of a significant delay? And yeah, what's your tolerance level? I mean, are you cool with like a 5-hour delay just sitting at the gate? I don't mind it. I go shopping, I eat, I kind of hang out. But that's how much I don't like to drive. So it just depends on what your tolerance is. I will say that looking ahead to the year-end holidays and even spring break, when you're talking about travel insurance comes into play here, because it can help you if there is a significant delay and you're having to buy food at the airport or stay at a hotel or car rental. A travel insurance policy can help you with that. But the key is to know what you're signing up for, read the fine print, or just talk to a travel agent who can walk you through it. I think people sometimes, you check the little box if you're booking online and you go, okay, I'll be covered if something happens, but then something happens and then the policy is like, oh, but that doesn't cover that. So just be mindful of what you're paying if you're getting travel insurance. And the best advice is just to do it through a travel agent that's a human that you can ask. if this happens, am I covered? If there's a snowstorm, am I covered, or is it a known it won't cover it? So that travel insurance can certainly come in handy, but you have to understand what you're buying.
Okay, thank you very much. That's great.
Well, thank you. I hope this helps, and good luck
Yeah.
with your story.
Absolutely.